Factoring, this is a digital lesson. So factoring is the process of simplifying an algebraic expression by dividing out common factors. The result is going to be a distributive property expression. So here's the first example, 3x plus 12. So they have a common factor of 3, so we're going to put the 3 outside the parentheses and then figure out what goes inside the parentheses to create this expression. So if 3 is outside the parentheses, in order to create 3x, this first term has to be an x, and to get 12, the second term has to be a 4. The next slide shows another expression. This one has 3 common factors, 2, 3, and 6. So the students are going to choose one of these factors. They're going to type it in, and then they're going to figure out what would go in the parentheses to get 6x plus 24. So this would have to be a 3, and this would have to be 12. And then the next slide, they're going to take the other 2 factors that they didn't use, type them in the box, and then figure out what would go in the parentheses. So they've got a few more to practice. When they get to slide 7, here they've got a negative term, but it's asking for all the positive factors. So they're just going to use the positive factors on this one. Now here's an expression where it's asking the students to use the common factors that are negative. So in this case, it would be -2, -4, and -8. And they're going to use those 3 negative factors in order to create their factoring expression. Now here's another example. You can also use fractions as factors. So here they're going to be using 1/2, 1/3, and 1/6. So here's an example. If they use 1/2, then this expression would have to be 36x plus 12. It's a little bit more tricky. So here they're going to factor using 1/3. They're going to factor using 1/6, and then they're going to just choose any factor they want. So they could actually use a 6 on this one, or a 2, or they could use a negative. Now here we've got 5 factors. Students are going to type in those 5, and then they're going to use those 5 to create expressions. Now on the very last slide, we've got a bubble map. So it says they're going to show 6 different ways to factor this expression. And they can use negative numbers, they can use fractions. So for example, they're just going to double click, and if they use 6, their expression would be 6x plus 8. They're going to type a different expression in each of the bubbles. So that is the lesson on factoring, digital lesson.